Now, let's speak about the quick settings icons. You can pull down the status bar and you will have all these icons right here above the notifications area. Actually, you might have just these, but more icons will show up if you drag them down even more. These are the quick settings icons. Usually, most of them have a section in the settings application also. You can think of these as shortcuts to some settings inside of the settings application. As was the case many times, you might have different quick settings icons and their design might be different. We will go through all of these one by one. Let's start. Let's start with this icon. You might already recognize that this is the Wi-Fi icon. If you tap on this, just simply a short tap, then you can disable the Wi-Fi connection. If you tap on it again, then you can re-enable the Wi-Fi connection. Do you see? The icon and the text underneath reveals the status of the Wi-Fi connection. First, it was grayed out, meaning that the Wi-Fi connection is not enabled. Then there was a question mark, signifying that the search for known networks is in progress. Then there was an X in the icon's corner indicating a Wi-Fi connection but a not working internet connection. And then there was the full icon showing a working Wi-Fi and internet connection. Also, when a connection is working, then the Wi-Fi network's name might show up underneath the icon. Most of these icons work in the same way. If you just tap on them, then you will toggle that function on and off. But if you long press on them, then the complete settings of that feature will come up, just as if you would have navigated there from the settings application. This is very convenient. If I press the Wi-Fi quick settings icon long enough, then the Wi-Fi settings open up. We have talked about this already, so I'm not going into details again, but now you have an easier way to turn the Wi-Fi on or off and connect to a different network. The next option is the Do Not Disturb functionality. The icon is similar to the Do Not Enter sign. This is out of scope for this course, but it simply means that you will not receive notifications and mute most of the things, including the ringtone. However, there are exceptions to this. Long story short, you can turn it on and you can turn it off here, and of course you can long press on it to access the settings. Then we have the Auto Rotate Quick Settings icon. This is probably the second most useful after the Wi-Fi icon. You can enable or disable Auto Rotate, which we have already discussed earlier in the display settings. The question here is that when you rotate the device in your hand, will the user interface follow it or not? Sometimes it can be disturbing if it rotates the screen, but sometimes it is very useful. This is why you might want to switch this on and off right here. I usually disable it and sometimes I re-enable it to have the application rotate when I need it. If you long press on it, then the settings for the display will come up. Now, the battery saver icon is here for me. This is a battery and the plus sign in it. If you turn it on, your device will cut back everything possible to save some battery capacity. You don't want to enable it when your battery is not low. But if you know beforehand that you will not be able to access a charger for a long time, you might want to enable it. This will disable animations, applications running in the background, and it will do many other optimizations to save the battery. Upon enabling, you will see that the battery icon is orange right here, which means something is going on, and that something is the battery saver. You can turn it off, of course, Just the same way, tap on it and it's disabled. If you long press on it, then the battery settings will open up. We have covered that already, so let's move on. Now, we have the mobile data switch here. We can tap on it and it will disable the mobile data connection. Now, we don't have mobile data connection. See, if I disable the Wi-Fi and the mobile data, then my phone has no internet connection at all. If I enable both, then the Wi-Fi connection will win because that's usually free. You might want to turn it off because it uses quite some power too. Especially when you are traveling somewhere. When you are switching from zone to zone and have the mobile data turned on, it might use a lot of battery. It opens up the data usage settings if you long press on it. This is an easy way to see how much data you used already and monitor which application did most of that. Next, we have the airplane mode switch. The airplane mode, as its name implies, usually required on airplanes because that turns off the radio communication of your device. As you can see, when I pushed it, it turned off the mobile data also. Airplane mode has no real settings, but if you long press on it, the network and the internet settings will come up. The next is cast. You can cast your device's screen to smart displays, but we will not go into details because that's out of the scope for this course. The next icon for me is the data saver switch. With this you can throttle and limit the internet usage of your applications, therefore slowing down the exceeding of your billing cycle's quota. We have covered the app settings already, but there was an option called unrestricted data usage that is related to this option. Next, we have the location icon. This is an important one. If you turn this on, then your phone's GPS is functional. It doesn't mean that it will work all the time, therefore just having this on is not draining your battery in and of itself. But when an application would like to access the location, then, of course, it will start to work. If there is an application that needs location info, for example a map application, then your GPS will use battery, and it will use quite a lot too. Suppose an application tries to find the location and this switch is off. In this case, the application will fail and probably will tell you that you have disabled the location functionality altogether. To summarize, if you disable this, then no application can access the GPS coordinates of your phone. If you enable this, then an application might access the GPS coordinates of your phone. Now, if you long press on it, the location settings page will show up. For example, you can see which applications requested your location. Finally, we can turn the pages. You can have more than 9 icons. So, in that case, you will have pages of quick settings icons that you can swipe left or right. Quickly touch on any point and drag it to the left. This is how you can switch between the pages of this section. My last icon is the invert colors switch. If I press it, everything will be inverted. This might be useful when you are reading some document for a long time. Thank you for watching, see you in the next video.